Hey everyone, this is Sean Butner, certified high performance coach, and welcome to Start Your Week with a Coach, where I help professionals, entrepreneurs, educators, and knowledge workers start their week with intention and with high performance habits so that they can go out there and crush it and build the lives that they want. This week, I'll be talking about how to manage stress with four in particular special tips on how to do that and things that have been working for my clients and my students. But before that, I just wanted to say that I am so happy to be here. I'm happy that you're here. This is a new newsletter format that's going out on my blog and then on emails. So if you're not subscribed, somewhere on the page where you're seeing this blog, there's a subscribe button where you'll get an email notification and some personal other things from me that'll help you in your week as you go forth and conquer. And I wanted to talk about this week, stress because of the COVID-19 stuff. There's a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty out in the world, and how we respond to it, and especially how we respond to it over a long period of time, is going to determine how well we cope and how well we're able to get through this all together. So, as a high performance coach, it's my job to help people find their performance consistently over the long term without burning out. And so we're focusing on the not burning out part. So this is important because, again, as we're home, maybe you're home with your family for the very first time for an extended amount of time, and all the little things are driving you nuts, like leaving half cups of liquid on the couch, or how people yell into the phone when they're on a conference call, or it could be any number of little things that. And if you've ever seen the show How I Met Your Mother, there's the Break the Glass episode where people's partners don't realize the annoying things about them until someone points it out, and then that's all they can focus on. Maybe you're going through something like that right now, or maybe you're struggling to deal with the fear, and you stopped working, and your identity as your work and the thing that was how you defined yourself is now not there, and now you're at a loss trying to figure out who are you, what are you doing, and what's important. So there's a lot of different ways that this could manifest. Those are a couple of examples. And as I've been talking with clients and students about dealing with stress, it reminded me of when I first started my career in technology. So I was working at Walmart, and Walmart corporate out in Arkansas. Go Razorbacks. And so right out of college, I came from a loosely structured environment where you could work really hard, get all your work done, and if you got your work done early, you'd have a little bit of a break, kind of as a reward to kind of process and think through things, and then you start. So it's lots of work, little bit of space, lots of work, little bit of space. Turns out in the corporate world, if you probably know where this is going, the work never stopped. So you could finish things as quickly as possible and just have a next huge amount of things dumped on you. And I didn't know how to manage that at the time. And so, you start going a couple of weeks doing that, and you get overwhelmed, or at least I did. And so I'm like, okay, this isn't sustainable. Then on top of that, working, 50 to 80 hours a week, depending on deployments and stuff like that, and the technology. And then every other week for a while, I was on call, so wasn't getting consistent sleep. It wasn't really taking care of my body, and I was a mess. I was overwhelmed, anxious, not certain what my day was going to look like. And for a while, I just really struggled to survive. After kind of realizing that was going on and then getting fed up with it, I'm like, why am I doing? I can figure this out. I'm a smart person, or smart enough person at least. I started really focusing on personal development, and I took as many courses as I could at Walmart. I started reading personal development books, personal finance books, because I had a lot of student loans that was stressing me out too. And slowly but surely, after all this learning, I figured out how to manage my stress and it by accident actually. I signed up for a marathon, not being able to run for 15 minutes straight because I just was that desperate, I guess. So I signed it up. I had 9 months to figure that out, and then figuring out how to train for a marathon, I started eating better. The stress was gone, so I could actually think about my process and what I needed to do, my situation, and how I could get out of it and shift. And then it came down to, there's generally like two different um, ways you can go in uncertain times, and that's hunker down, try to just survive and do what you can to take care of yourself, or you can start to grow, start to learn, start to prepare for the future that you want. And so I started out in that first case and ended up in that second case, and all that learning and stuff. Started getting promoted, started to dream again. That what did I really want out of my life, and was I doing something that I felt was important? And then you start asking like bigger questions, and eventually I ended up quitting that job to start a business, and ended up at Apple, and crazy things happened, but it took me doing the work and figuring it out, and really figuring out that stress piece. So that's why I wanted to do this video again, because of it's kind of similar. Like, I don't think that I'm any less anxious or overwhelmed with everything that's going on like everyone, but I do think I have a couple of different tools that have helped me stay grounded, stay centered, not obsessively freak out about it to where it's all consuming, and has allowed me when I go out to the store to not freak out at people that are scared, or to not take it out on my wife, because we live in a small apartment in Berkeley and we've been together pretty much nonstop for a month, with not able to go to work and have little breaks and stuff. And as an introvert, like, I value those quiet times, but I also love my wife, and it's actually, I thought, in a weird way, brought us closer together. So I wanted to share with you 4 things that can help you manage stress in this time. Some of them are kind of simple. Some of them maybe you haven't thought of. In any case, if you're not consistently implementing strategies to help manage your stress in the time, you're really doing yourself and your family a disservice, because nobody wants to be around a stress ball. Nobody wants to be around a grump. Nobody wants to be around someone that's angry. And, these are all responses that people are having now, and they're all totally valid. It's not that you shouldn't be feeling those things, but it's how you show up when you feel those things, and how you're directing your emotional life, and how you're directing your actions in this time. Because the more that you can direct your actions, the more you feel like you're in control. And the more that you feel like you're in control, the better off you're going to be figuring out, solving problems as we all figure our way through this. So that's just the setup for that. What I wanted to talk to you, so the 4 things, the first thing that you can focus on, and this is something that has always been part of the high performance process and something I've always talked about, but it's really now time to focus in on your health. And, for the obvious reasons that if you get sick, you want your body to be the most strong, the most resilient, the most ready to, fight off anything that's happening. And, like, not just like the COVID stuff, but if you have a serious sickness, getting into a hospital could be tough, and it can make things that seemed not a big deal a much more larger problem. So you definitely want to take care of your health, and simple things that you can do to take care of your health is, keep moving every day. Like, try to go for a 30-minute walk every day, especially if you're stuck at home. It gives you a chance to have some quiet time if you're an introvert like me. Get away from the wife, get away from the husband or the kids, have some thoughts, get some vitamin D. And if you're like, well, it's snowing right now, like it was in Chicago, it's like, no worries. Like, you can still go outside and not perish. So just the act of getting fresh air is really good. Getting out in the sun, getting moving can really help reduce stress and get you thinking about different things. And it gets you away from the news and those sources of stress. So, I mean, it's important to stay connected, but we need to really be mindful on how all that information can kind of wind you up and get you agitated. So go for walks. This is a time to make sure you're sleeping enough. So if you're not getting at least 7 hours of sleep a night, but like 7 to 9 for adults is what the science shows is most effective, and making sure you're not having your IQ drop like below 7 hours. There's a noticeable measurement of your intelligence dropping, decision making, your mood decreases, so you become a little bit more grumpy and ogreish. So sleep's really important. So are you setting an alarm to be like, okay, I need to be in bed by this time at night, and then I'll wake up at this time in the morning? That's at least 7 hours, because it's really good for the immune system, and it's really, really good for just your overall mood. And again, I'm not a doctor, so consult your professionals as you do for anything health-wise, but these are just things that, work for me in managing stress. So walking outside, making sure you're sleeping, making sure you drink a couple of liters or a gallon or so of water every day. And I know that sounds like a lot, but I try to, this is a liter bottle, try to do 2 to 3 of these a day, because a lot of times grumpiness or fatigue comes from being dehydrated. So that's an easy fix for many people. So just make sure you're drinking enough water. Make sure you're not eating junk food. I had some friends I was talking to the other day that are like, hey, we bought all this junk food right when everything started closing down, and we felt like crap for 2 weeks because that's all we just ate carbs out of a box. And there's nothing wrong with that, again, in small doses, but make sure you're eating healthy, you're eating a balanced diet, you're not overindulging in alcohol, that kind of stuff, common sense stuff. That is super important, and deals again with hydration. So what else on health that's pretty easy to do? Make sure you're moving every day. Like, you could do push-ups and sit-ups and body squats if you're able. Again, consult your doctor if you're trying something new for the first time, or you're injured. Like, common sense stuff. But that is more important now, just for working out some of the stress. I wouldn't recommend signing up for a marathon unless you're really at that irrationally stressed out kind of moment like I was back in the day. But marathons are great. I love them. You get addicted to them. And running, it's a weird thing. I'll talk about that on another video. I have some videos about that too from the past. But okay, so that's health. Take care of your health, take care of your body, make sure you're strong, reducing stress, building up your immune system. Try to mumble it. Okay, second thing to do is help. This is such an easy thing to do, especially if you've been go, working, and now you're working from home, and you're not commuting 4 hours a day like I used to when I worked at Apple, or you're not having all those interruptions during the day, so you're actually a little bit more effective at your job if you're able to work from home, or maybe you're just not working at all. So talking to people in your family, in your friend group, in your community, asking how you can help, how you can step up, how you can take the burden on for someone else, gives you a little bit of meaning in this time. And I think we overlook this point a lot, is we are part of a community, and we're individuals, and we're doing our best to do right by us and go out there and hustle and work and all that stuff. But some of the humanity comes back when we're engaged in our community, even if we have to physically distance at 6 feet away. But just getting groceries for someone in the apartment building that might not be able to go to the store, shouldn't go to the store for because they're high at risk, or maybe it's going to the local animal shelter and walking dogs, or I don't know how you can help. You probably have a much better idea on how you can do that, but I do recommend whatever it is, you go and have some type of service towards others, because it's a really great time to have that humanity and that feeling of fulfillment. and something to do to not watch the news. So that's really, really good. The third thing, so that was, again, help someone, talk to people, call people up. Sometimes helping is just saying hi. So go do that. Third thing is hold space. Like, this is a great time to slow down, to reflect, to rearrange your priorities and say, hey, is what I'm going for really what I want for my life? At the end of my life, if I'm looking back, will I be proud on what I've done with the time that I've had here? Or, will I have a legacy for friends and family and kids that they'll look up to me? Or what, we're all experiencing this global thing together. What will your actions say about who you are as a person? And are you proud of that? And will you be proud of that? So those type of, like, reflecting now and thinking of the future is really powerful. And are you doing what you need to do right now in order to build the future after all this is over? So, again, going back to that growth versus kind of like shelter and survive mode we were talking about before. But another thing about holding space is, like, you're going to feel a lot of different things. You might feel grief because you've lost someone. You might feel, anxiety because you lost a job. There's a lot of things that are going on that you can, slow down and, feel them, experience it, and not dwell on it. You don't want to go down too deep, but to just acknowledge that those things are there and it's normal and it's okay. And if you ever need someone to talk about that kind of stuff with, I do run week or strategy calls for people. So, leads to coaching, but it can help you get your headset and figure out where you're going and where you want to go. So, and if you're interested in that, just go to shawn.coach, SHAWN.coach. You'll see a video and you can fill out an application and get started on that. But holding space, I think, is a really important thing for yourself and in life in general, because, again, and another, the opportunity here is so many people have not had this time because they're just going to, everything slowed down at the same time, kind of get forced to. So hold space. The last idea is to have hope. We will get through this together. There's a lot of mindsets, and this is kind of what this is touching on, but, having hope, having optimism that we'll figure this out, that we'll be stronger for getting through this together, that, a lot of things are happening to everyone, but we don't need to be a victim here. We can say, I can't control, nature. I can't control how the economy is doing, but I can control how I'm showing up. I can direct my life, direct my feelings, direct my intention towards something better, towards something good, towards helping people. That this mindset of service again comes up and can be very, very meaningful to be able to, again, help other people deal and rise up in this time. So I hope you found this helpful. This is going to be the new format for the weekly newsletter. It's also a summary of the other free program I do during the week called Start Your Day with a Coach. So that it's going to tie in. There'll be themes each week. So this week's theme was stress. If you're interested in that, there should be social links at the bottom, so you can look at YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook for your favorite, social media way to stay connected and in touch. If you don't dig the emails as much, totally get that. I hope you, again, enjoyed this. I really love doing this. Really been working on how to figure out all this social stuff, and stay busy myself. So, again, appreciate you guys. If you have any questions or comments, put them below or send an email back to support@ShawnButler.com. If you have topics you want to hear about relating to high performance or personal development, I'd love the input to engage with the community and highlight some of that stuff for you. If you have comments, please send them my way too. Love to hear from you. And yeah. All right, guys. See you next week. Take care. Be well and take care of each other.